Ladies and boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, right? Your boy is back. Your boy is back on the screen. I am actually doing this in the living room just because I can. But seriously though, right, one of the rooms where I used to record and everything is pretty much getting renovated. So it is going to be done within the next 48 hours at most. Like at most, it should be done honestly later by today or early tomorrow. And we won't really have this setup of this background and stuff. So we're gonna go back to the normal, right? Want to bring webcam back, face cam back. Feel like it's always just better, right? It feels more interactive. So let's just jump right into it, right? So look, we're gonna be talking about turbo, and we are also going to be talking about turbo base. Now, last time I did a video on this, I know some people weren't happy, but listen, big shout out to Uber Eats for sponsoring this video. First 50 people get $20 off their first 2 meals, which means you can literally eat for free. Just use the code on your screen or the link in the description below. When opportunity knocks on your door, you know what I'm saying? You got to open it. You got to open it. So we will cover turbo mainly in small detail, and we will also cover turbo based. Which one should you be buying? Should you be buying both? Should you buy one? There's some discussion I've seen on Twitter. Obviously, turbo itself is absolutely huge. I mean, this coin is what, like roughly a 400 million market cap. When we go to something like base turbo, it is a 1.73 million. But here's the thing, people, right? I noticed that turbo based, right? Yes, it had a huge sell-off and correction. I did notice that, yes, but so did every other coin the last couple of months. But we can see practically ever since turbo started to get revived, right? Which turbo pretty much got revived. Let's just say the first week of April, after the first week of April, it has shot up, boom, at this point, 287%, and at even one point, 350%. Okay. So that's fantastic. But with something like turbo based, if we take it from the bottoms, take it here, right? It has gone up practically 1,000%, even more at one point. So look, obviously, here's the deal. Turbo is king, right? Turbo is always going to be king. But the question is there opportunity to have a little bit of turbo based as well? In my opinion, I think so, right? I think so. We've seen this with other coins where there's a coin on the main chain, it blows up, and then other coins follow, right? You have a coin that's exactly the same, but just on a different chain. And here's the deal, right? I've been following turbo based Twitter for a couple of months now, and they are consistently active. And ladies and gentlemen, they are portfolio reviews, economic and global updates and news, frequent up-to-date technical analysis, and a very supportive community. Sell and buy calls and trading education is provided. If that sounds good to you, now is the time to act. Once the markets start moving, there is no I should have, coulda, woulda. Now is the time. If you want to take things to another level, we have the blueprint that covers everything from A to Z in crypto that you need. No fluff, no bullshit, just the most important news, fundamentals, and technicals to have you succeed in these markets. Putting in the work. So I do think this coin could get you good gains this cycle. I genuinely do. That is the only reason why I am covering it, right? And this is why I'm making like a turbo and turbo base type video as a second video for today, rather than just, main turbo video being just about turbo based. Look, at the end of the day, it's up to you what you want to buy, right? I have made great money when turbo based was, I think it was like 700 or million market cap. I remember it was somewhere down here, and the big expansion happened. We called it out in the Discord, and man, the gains were absolutely fantastic. The gains were fantastic. Cashed out, right? I cashed out. I left my initial position in. Right? We took all the profits. So my initial position is doing good, actually. It's practically break even, maybe even a little bit in profit. So I'm not complaining, but yeah, I've been thinking, I'm like, man, do I double down? And I personally might double down. Now, here's the thing. You got to remember, this coin is going to be considered a dark horse coin. Okay. Something like Turbo is going to guarantee you get you profits. That is the reality, okay? Guarantee. Obviously, literally, if something went like, I can't like literally guarantee it, but it's like 99.99% chance that Turbo will get you amazing gains. Okay. There's a reason why it was literally the most pumped crypto just roughly, 3 to 4 weeks ago. There's a reason why it has grown so much ever since the beginning of 2024 to where it's at right now, right? Insane gains. And the thing is, Turbo's here to stay. Turbo is going to compete with a lot of other meme coins, but Turbo is going to do very, very well this cycle. We can guarantee that, right? We can guarantee that. But Turbo based, it's a little bit more of a dark horse. In a way, it's a little bit more of a 50-50. I think if we know Turbo's going to do well, right? We know Turbo's going to do well. And what do people want to do when they see a coin do well? They want to see if they can make a quick buck or a higher multiplier on a knockoff of that coin. So, if we were even going to go back to break even, or sorry, all-time highs, that would be another, 12x from here. So not bad, not bad. I did say before, I do think this coin can go upwards of 100 million market cap. Think about it. If we think Turbo can hit 10 billion, you don't think we can hit 1% of that on Turbo based? It's kind of just feels almost inevitable, right? We could just see someone bought $800 worth of it right now, right? 23 seconds ago, $800. So look, man, I do think if you do if you do have that extra money and you are a little bit of a risk taker, I do think out of all the knockoff coins, Turbo based is going to be a great dark horse coin. Okay. I really, really do believe that. Now, do I think Turbo based is ever going to overtake Turbo? No, I don't think that. Okay. I don't believe so. But is it going to do well? I think there's a great chance. I think there's a great chance. And I think even if it flops, it's still probably pull a 10x just because we know Turbo is going to absolutely demolish the markets. So I am going to be putting some money in Turbo based a little bit more than I have right now, just because I do think, it can play out well. Here's the thing. When this coin was down at like 200K market cap, 300K, 400K, 150, I wasn't too sure. I wanted some more confirmation. Am I kind of like, am I much later? Yeah, could I have made 10x? Yes. But the thing is, these coins are never a guarantee, while something like Turbo, the original Turbo, is a very, very likely 99.99% chance guarantee you'll make a lot of money this cycle. So just think about it, right? At the end of the day, let me know who you are, Team Turbo, Team Base Turbo, or you just want to make a lot of money. For me, I love Turbo. I'm like loyal to Turbo, but I'm not going to marry Turbo. I'm not going to just be like, oh, well, there's a base coin. I'm not going to look at it all. For me, when opportunity knocks, I open it with welcome arms. I hug it and I say, I see a chance to make potentially a quick 5x, 10x, or even potentially this coin can go up to 100x. I'm in. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're going to get some base Turbo or not. Let me know if you see any red flags in either Turbo or base Turbo. That is it, right? This background is only going to be for another couple more videos. So don't worry if it's not the best. We'll be back in action very, very soon. I love you guys so, so much. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.